Perfect.
Good afternoon, Catherine. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm really happy to see you and you have joined me. I'm so happy for that. So, as we are meeting for the first time, so can you tell me something about yourself, please? So, it would be helpful for the viewers and watchers.
Yes, of course. I used to work in marketing in London, and I decided it wasn't quite right for me. The environment was a bit too much pressure, and I wanted to use my skills in another way. So now, actually, I have a lot of students that work in marketing but want to improve their English for working in marketing. So I've been teaching working professionals for the last 4 years now.
Oh, that's great to hear about you. So, where are you nowadays? What about your place?
I'm I'm in Thailand actually. I'm obviously from England, but I moved to Thailand quite a long time ago, about 3 years ago.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so do you want me to introduce myself?
Absolutely. I'd love to hear a bit about yourself and your English language journey.
Yeah, sure, why not? So, my name is Ashutosh, and I am from Uttar Pradesh, India, northern part of India. And about my education, I have pursued my BCom honors degree, that was in accounting, and now I'm pursuing masters, that is Masters of Arts in English Literature. So, apart from this, I run a YouTube channel which is based on spoken English conversations. So, I'm about to complete 3 years. I had started on 10th March 2021. So, I'll complete my 3 years after 10 or 11 days. So, that's how it is. And when it comes to my spoken English journey, I had started my spoken English journey on 29th April 2020. So, during COVID. So that's how it is. And before that, I was not able to introduce myself. I was not able to speak English, but I worked really hard, and so that's how I like that. That's how I'm able to speak little bit. Right now, also, I need a lot of improvement. That's what I believe in. So yeah, that's all about me. So
That's
yes, now, yeah.
that's really fantastic. I watched a couple of your videos and I noticed your pronunciation and your ability to create complicated sentences is amazing. So I assumed you'd maybe learned English at school or have been speaking English for a long time, but to know it's all self-study and in such a short amount of time, that's fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. So and now I want to know how's your experience like helping others in spoken English? As you said that you have been helping people in marketing who want to become better. So how's your experience so far?
I really enjoy helping people, and one thing I would say is the work environment is changing. 5 years ago, native English speakers and non-native English speakers didn't spend much time together in the workplace, but it's changing and we are now working remotely or online. So you don't need to be so scared to speak English because native English speakers are more used to different accents, different pronunciations, and they're not so confused when they hear a Chinese accent, Indian accent, French accent. So I tell all my students, you just have to have the confidence to speak. Just speak. And if you make a mistake, I can help you, I can correct you. But if you don't speak, I can never help you, I can never correct you.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Until or unless they are not going to speak, they are not going to become a better speaker. So, okay. So, like another thing I want to know from you that what kind of problems usually they face, your students, like what kind of problems they come up with that they ask, like, ma'am, can you help me with it? How can I be fluent? Or like, what about the vocabulary part? Or should I go very deep into the grammar? So they do ask this kind of questions.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, the only question I don't get asked is about grammar because I think a lot of students they learn grammar before they start trying to speak. So they have an understanding of the grammar, even if they still make mistakes, they have a good understanding of it. The biggest question, the most often asked question is, how can I learn more grammar? Sorry, how can I learn more vocabulary? or how can I improve my vocabulary? And I think I've seen some of your videos, you talk about this, and it is just exposing yourself to English as much as possible, reading articles, books, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, trying to immerse yourself in English as much as possible.
Yes, exactly. That's only the way. But people think that by mugging up the vocabulary from the dictionary, it will help them. I don't really think so. It is going to work because if you don't know the context and where to use, how to use, then no meaning and having a lot of words in your mind. So, okay. So another thing now I'm asking you about, as you are living in Thailand for 3 years. So how are you enjoying in Thailand? So how's your experience? Do you like the environment and things there?
Yes, I do. I really like the environment. It's quite hot, especially from someone coming from England. It's quite a different climate, but I enjoy it. And one of the things I would say is because I have to learn another language to live here, because English isn't widely spoken, it's really helped me understand how to learn another language. Because previously I didn't speak any other languages. Um, but on a more personal level, I enjoy it. It's always sunny. There's always beautiful nature, and I can swim every day if I want to. So yeah, I'm enjoying my life here. Have you ever
So,
been?
mhm. No, not really. So, just are you learning Thai, their
Yes.
native language? And do you miss England?
I, funnily enough, I miss the winter, not
Uh-huh.
because of the cold weather, not because of the rain, but if any of your followers have been to England, they will understand what I mean when it's cold and rainy. There's kind of like a magic feeling in the air that you can go home and it's warm in your house and you can eat good food with your family. And this feeling of returning home from bad weather, I miss this feeling because there's never bad weather here. So I don't have that feeling of, oh, let's go home quickly and eat something hot or drink some tea. I kind of miss that
So,
feeling.
what about the temperature? Like, don't you like experience lowest temperature there and coolest thing in Thailand? Because in India it's there. Like in January, it was freezing cold for us actually, not for you maybe. It was 2 or 3 degrees centigrade, but it was really cold for us. So, and we have the high temperatures as well, like 48 degrees centigrade or 50. For you people, it's really tough. I can understand 48 or 50. It's really tough for us to bear that temperature. Yeah. So what about you? So what about the lowest temperature in Thailand?
Actually, Thailand only has two seasons. It doesn't have a winter, it just has rainy season, monsoon season, and summer. So there's never really a lowest temperature, but it cools down a lot during rainy season. It's maybe 18 or 19 degrees. But actually, I went to India just before COVID. Um, and I always, in my mind, thought that India was a hot country, and I was so cold. I was so surprised by how cold. I went in January, exactly, and I was in New Delhi. And it was like 2 degrees, 3 degrees. I was very surprised.
Yeah, exactly. It's like freezing cold in Jan or just last December. So it depends. Like if you choose Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Ladakh, you would see snowfall as well. So India has all the weathers and all the seasons. That's what I would say. But as you are telling about Thailand, it's different from us. So, but in May and June, oh my God, I see cricketers. They come here in India and play. For them it's really horrible because they are not able to bear that 48 degrees centigrade and 50. So like when you came for the first time to Thailand and when there was a summer season, then how you were able to manage it and how you adjusted all those things?
Oh, that's a good question. I've never thought about that. I think initially, when people from
Mhm.
Europe travel to hot countries, they like the hot weather because it's so different to what they're used to. And the sun is out, more than 12 hours a day. And we usually get like an 8-hour window of sun. Um, So I think initially you're just excited by the hot weather. But after maybe 1 year of constant hot weather, you start to think, okay, it would be nice to have cooler temperatures, which I guess is why fans and air conditioning are invented, so you can stay cooler in the hot weather. But as I said, I swim a lot as well, and that cools me down, that helps me deal with it.
Okay, and just when it's really hot, you avoid going out, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the hottest part of the day is between 12 and maybe 4 p.m. So
Yes.
I'm usually teaching during those hours. So I don't sit outside in the hottest part of the day.
Yeah, when you'll go just early morning, it would be okay, and evening, that would be fine. But of course, the time 12 to 4 or 12 to 5, it's really unbearable. So I can understand. Okay. So another thing like about the this what is the like one most important thing as you said about the winter. Okay. So for us also it's the same, and I feel that that is a family culture. When we go back to like our family, what for us, we sit together, we set fire, and we just enjoy that family thing, and we eat something like peanuts and groundnuts or some like hot things like drinks. So whatever you said, that is right. But nowadays, what is happening? We have room heaters and everything there, like AC. So that family culture is just vanishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So people
exactly.
are becoming more independent of their families and they're not spending this time together during the winter.
Yeah, the thing is that when it's really cold, but if you don't have a room heater, then of course you have to sit together and set the fire. That's the culture here in India. But when room heater is there, the temperature is okay. Then you are ready to work, right? You can work without any problem. But when it's really cold, but for us, as I'm from village, a rural part of the country, so for us it's really green, great. Even though yes, like today I came back from my hometown and it was really cold there, even though it's like February last. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's how it is. Okay.
Nice.
So and how's your schedule? Like, can you tell me please about your routine? That how do you spend your day?
It depends, honestly, on the week, because most of my students are in Europe. All of my students are online. So sometimes my lessons don't start until midday or 1 p.m., but then they carry on until 9 p.m. at night. So in the mornings, I do yoga or I go swimming. I have two dogs, so I take my dogs for a walk. But there are other times when I have students all day, and I I think for me, I don't like to sit in front of a screen all day. So those days can be quite long for me. I like to go outside, see something new, be in nature. But yeah, it just depends on the day. I think I'm quite a positive person. I like to find good things in every day.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you, that how do you spend like the day in front of a screen? And what do you think about hustle culture? Nowadays the people are crazy for working 18 hours, 16 hours. So what's your opinion on that?
That's a fantastic question. I saw a quote the other day that was, um, success is choosing how to spend your time. So we always think that success means money, right? If you have a lot of money, if you have six businesses, you are successful. But this quote suggested it's not how much money you have or how many businesses you have. It's being able to decide how you spend your day. So if you want to take the day off to visit your grandparents or go to the beach or whatever it is you want to do, you're successful because you get to choose your time. And I think I agree with that. I don't like this hustle culture. I think if you want to make yourself as successful as possible, as rich as possible, perfect. That's up to you. That's your prerogative, right? That's your decision. But for me, I would much rather have more free time in my day because I don't want to be 50 and look back and say, okay, I made all this money, but I didn't make any friends. I didn't go on any trips. I just worked, you know? And in England, a lot of people wait for retirement. But then the problem is when you are retired, you might not have good health. You might be sick or ill, or your relatives might be sick or ill, and you have to take care of them. So the future isn't always guaranteed. So in a summary, I would say if you want to hustle, I support you. But for me personally, I would prefer to do things as and when I feel like doing them.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with you. I like flexibility that I don't want to be like, yeah, maybe if I think I can work for 18 hours today, it depends on my mood. But the next day, maybe I would be working for only 2 or 3 hours. So, but nowadays, people are just doing double shift. As you said, in London, maybe, or for you, it can be an option. But in India, it's terrible. After COVID-19, now they have to work for 14 hours. It's compulsion for them, 12, 14 hours. Yeah. So, and second thing, due to this competition, a lot of people are just, due to this unemployment rate is increasing day by day. They suffer a lot. So they are working hard that they, due to the losing, like fear of losing job. So that's how, like, they do whatever they just,
Wow.
are. That's
So
not
the
good. I don't feel good about it.
so the fear kind of comes from their boss or their team lead, for example, that if you're not working as much as the next person, you're not a good employee, even if you're
Exactly.
working as hard as you can.
Yeah, exactly. If there are 10 people in the queue, right? And if you are not able to work up to the mark, they will find somebody else who is a like younger than you, 25, 30, have a lot of energy to do a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they are always in fear to lose their job. So, but for me, as you said, it depends on your life. Like you should have time to do enjoy your life as well. It's not all about work, work, work. You got an apartment in New York, maybe in London, but you don't have time to live there. You are 65 or
Yeah.
70. You are left with only few years. So that's how it is. So for me, I want to live a flexible life, but it depends on me. Sometimes I like working, then fine. Sometimes I think I'm totally on break or off. So,
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I just started my YouTube channel, but I some days I have a lot of energy to create a video, edit it, and schedule it, post it. Other days I think, no, I just want to teach my students today. And I think that's fine. But I know I'm also lucky because I don't have a boss telling me what I have to do. If you work for a company, it's very different. They control your hours and they control your salary as well. So you kind of have to do what they expect of you.
yeah, yes, you are right. Yeah. And second thing I want to ask you, like, how do you get students? So do you have your own website, right?
I do now. I didn't when I first started. When I first started, I was using some of the famous platforms, English teaching platforms. Um, but as I started to learn the best ways to teach and what was working with students, what wasn't working with students, I started to think, okay, maybe I could do this by myself. So at the moment, I do have my own website, and it only launched on January the 1st. So at the moment, I only have
Oh,
three students.
congratulations.
Thank you. But I'm hoping by the end of the year, I will have a full calendar through my own website.
Yeah, why not? And what I think, like, you can get students by your YouTube channel as well, as you will get more subscribers. You'll get mails from the people that who wants to learn from you, maybe from Europe, because as I get mails from the people and they want to learn from me. So
Exactly. I think one of the things that I personally really like about YouTube is it's free. And some people really cannot afford English lessons, and I understand that. And I wish I could teach people for free, but the world doesn't work that way. And I think being able to make videos for people so that they can also improve their language skills, you're offering them new opportunities, new career options. They can relocate if their English is good enough. So for me, it's a fantastic learning tool if you can't afford or don't have access to an English teacher.
yeah, exactly. Of course, a lot of on YouTube, everything is available. It depends on your devotion. If you are interested to learn, you can do it. So yeah, you are doing a great job. So now, do you have any question for me? Any
Uh,
specific question?
I do. What was your biggest fear when you decided, okay, I'm going to learn English, I'm going to be serious and dedicate time to this? What was your biggest fear about speaking English?
Yeah, it's always about people, what people would say when you speak English. They would say like, why are you trying to become an Englishman? So like that's what they would say. You don't have to be there in America or London. Maybe your friends will make fun of you most of the time. They would make fun of you. So that's how it was. That what kind of comments I would get from the people. It was there. And second thing, like investing a lot of time, and when you don't have mentor, you're not sure that you are going on the right track or not, right? If you are training your students, you are just telling them whatever I'm telling. If you will do that, for sure you are going to become a better speaker. But when you don't have any guide or mentor, you think like, I have seen a lot of people who have been studying grammar for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but their goal is to speak English. So they are reading grammar for years and years, but they are not speaking. So I always tell them that speak. Like if you want to become a speaker, just you have to speak. So that's how it is. So for me, I started practicing, or I started speaking English from my first time, that 29th April 2020, on few free platforms like Buddy Talk, Hello, Hello Talk, or Clubhouse. So I used to do practice there. So fear was only to get like what people would say, and would I be able to become a better speaker or not. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was my biggest fear. And after that, you will get a lot of comments from the people. Some people would like you, some would hate you, some would feel jealous of you, some would always give you the negative comments. It's there on YouTube, right? Because always they are just open to give their feedback. So sometimes people are really positive, and sometimes they will criticize you and they will pull your leg so you can stop your journey. That's how it is.
Yeah. And I think the key is to have a goal. A lot of students say, how can I keep motivated? And I say, well, why are you doing this? Because if you don't know why you're doing this, then you're going to lose motivation. But if your goal is, okay, in 3 years' time, I want to have a conversation with a native English speaker and feel no fear, that's your goal. Work towards that. If your goal is 10,000 subscribers, or I don't know, to buy a new car, you keep your goal in mind and you forget everyone else. You don't worry about them and their goals and their achievements. You focus on you and why you are doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Why is really important for starting anything in your life and doing anything. But some people, they do practice for 10 days and 15 days. Then they think, oh, it's really tough for them. Like, me, I can't do it. And they leave the journey. Because in India, it's not easy to find somebody offline who can interact with you in English. And right. And second thing, who is a good speaker, why he would talk to you? Because they are always busy with themselves in their job, right? So that's how it is. So for people here, it's really difficult to get partners. So when you practice on free platforms, you don't get sincere people. You will get people who are passing their time. They would make fun of you. Sometimes they will tease you. Sometimes they'll talk about like topics which are not really good for conversations. Maybe they'll talk about politics, religion, and many things. So I think it was difficult for me to find good people who were interested in learning spoken English, not in talking about all these nonsense. So
Mhm. I have one more question for you. Now that your
yeah.
English is a bit more advanced and you're not at that beginning level, do you have a favorite resource or favorite website or book or something that you like to go to read
Uh,
and improve your English?
Basically, what I believe in, listen, watch, and talk as much as you can. That's what I say to the people. So I consume the content as much as I can. I listen, follow that YouTube channel, English speeches with subtitles. And I started my journey by listening to Sadhguru. I don't know you know or not. Sadhguru and Jay Shetty, the author of Think Like a Monk. So I follow him. And another guy from India, Ranveer Alabadia, he has his own YouTube channel, Be a Bishops. He does like podcast. So, but I don't have any specific like website or channel, but I follow all these. And another teacher I follow, I like the way she speaks. That is Tiffany. Tiffany. Okay.
I think
And
I've seen them.
Venisha, Lucy, yeah, a few teachers are really famous on YouTube. Yeah, so I
Mhm,
follow them sometimes. Bob the Canadian is from
mhm.
Canada.
I think that's another fantastic thing is you can choose the accent you like and you can find 100% you can find someone with that accent and follow them and copy them, shadow them. There's so many good teachers on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. But in India, it's really difficult. Once you start learning your accent, most of the time you will get the comments from the people, man, why are you trying to just fake or it's not natural. Don't try to make it up. Speak naturally, whatever your accent. So you will get a lot of comments like that. And even though I get sometimes, then I say to the people, and even though to be honest, I don't work a lot on this accent. I want to work on clarity and just the masses, so they can understand it is all about. So the second thing, but they always say, why are you trying to do this? I say, like, I listen to the international speakers, that's why I got the influence. But here it's like they take it negatively, and they will always say a lot of negative things about you.
No, I think your pronunciation is amazing. I think it's not important to lose your accent because your accent is part of who you are. You are from India. That's part of you. But being clear, exactly like you said, clarity and pronouncing things in an easy to understand way, that's more important than losing your accent.
Yeah, exactly. So what I have seen and I heard from the people that the native speakers, they're really like flexible and they will help you. But when it comes to India, who are the non-native speakers, they would really judge you like for a very single or minor mistakes, even though if they are able to understand your message or you are trying to say, but they will point it, oh no, you're not up to the mark, you're making a lot of grammatical mistakes. That's how they do business, right? If they will tell you mistakes, then you'll say, okay sir, teach me how can I become better. So that's how it is. Yeah.
It's because you're their competition. And if you are better than them in English, then they have to try harder.
Yeah, exactly. So they will always try to find your mistakes and tell you that you can. It happens in institute coachings. If you go there and you speak, they will always tell you few like a lot of mistakes of yours because they are doing business, right? And they want you to be their students. So yeah, yeah. So okay, I think now you have a session, right? Okay.
Yes, I do.
So
Unfortunately, this has been good. It's been interesting talking to you.
yeah, it was really great. I'm so happy, and I'm really happy that I would be able to a lot of make videos with you. We can do a lot of videos on multiple topics and questions. So it was a great discussion, and thank you so much, and all the best. So that's what I would say. All
Thank
the best
you.
for your session, and keep helping others.
Oh, thank you so much. It was so great to see you. Keep going with your journey, and I will see you next time.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.